I'm talking about accidentally being binded to someone who doesn't have the best intentions for you. You know how in spiritual spaces and communities, a lot of women who enter these places come from a very traumatized place, thinking that by entering this place or community, they're going to find peace and healing. And they really assume, without any discernment or any inspection, they assume that this place is going to give them the saving that they're looking for. That means the majority of them enter into the spaces vulnerably, not realizing that regardless of one's spiritual beliefs, people are going to be people. If somebody wants to be a predator, they're going to be a predator regardless of the space they're in. The same way a pastor can be a schmedophile, the same way a lawyer can be a rapist, the same way a judge can be a schmedophile and rapist, whatever. The same way that in regular society or institutions that people can be any title or of any status and still be a bad person or a predator, the same standard should be applied in the spiritual spaces when you enter them. Because the predators are always going to look for vulnerable people. And they know exactly where to find vulnerable people. The same way that these schmedophiles go to playgrounds to look for children. That being said, for a lot of women who enter these spiritual places or even occult practices and they try to find relationships with people who share similar interests, you have to be careful when finding a mate, a spiritual relationship, because there are people who are looking for people like you, who know that you're looking for someone like them. So that means that they can pretend like they're spiritual and kind and all these things that you think that they are. Why do you think there are so many narcissists in spiritual places? Let's not forget that men practice magic as well. Men practice spells as well. There's a lot of warlocks out there. There are men who order rituals and do spell workings. You just don't know that they're doing that because men don't talk about these things openly online anyway. Not to mention that when they engage in physical activities with you, that is basically them doing magic. All I'm saying is that as much as you might be looking for someone that you share mutual interests with, especially in spiritual spaces, because you see this as your sacred haven, you see this as your safe space where you can truly be yourself and vulnerable and heal your traumas. But they are looking for that. That is exactly what they're looking for, so they can control you and manipulate you and influence you. That's what I'm talking about. When you're in spaces where predators are rampant, but disguising themselves as a good person or the type of person that you want, you're giving them information on exactly how to hook you. So pretending like they're vulnerable too, pretending like they've been through a lot of trauma too, pretending like they're hurting, and pretend like they're looking for a spiritual woman who knows how to take care of them, how to nurture them, how to help them heal. That's how they're going to siphon your energy, be abusive to you, even be violent to you, take away your life force, basically destroy you and your divine feminine power within. So all I'm saying is be very careful before you get super excited about finding a spiritual man. From my experience and from my observation, the men that claim to be spiritual and who wear it as a title, a proud title, those are the worst kinds. Most of them have two sides to them. The side they show to the public, where they're charming, charismatic, knowledgeable, informative, and spiritual. And the private side, the abusive side, the demonic side, the dark side, the violent side, the narcissistic side. So be very careful and protect yourself.